Hello everybody, Drew here for Drew Games here on YouTube.com, coming at you with episode number 35 of the Drew Games podcast, which obviously means we're here to talk gaming. And today's episode we'll be going over some news headlines, going over the Nintendo Direct, which I didn't find out about it till like the day before from September 23rd, and anything meaningful from that. And and other headlines after that as well, and games with gold and PlayStation Plus free games for October as well. With that said, joining me is my younger brother Desert Nord. Hey, bro.
Hey there. How you
doing? So with that being said, the things we're going to be going over are the 9.0.0 update for PS4 and the important thing that fixes. And like I said, Nintendo Direct from the 23rd, so about 6 days ago, give or take. And the games that they were showing off and things that they announced for that. A Mario movie, which was announced at Nintendo Direct as well. We'll go over that. Marvel Avengers coming to Xbox Game Pass and when that's happening, and games with gold and PlayStation Plus. So with that being said, do you have anything that you're going to want to talk about before we get into the first topic, that being the update to PS4?
No, I don't have anything to, cut in front of that.
Alright, so with that said, so update 9.0.0 for PS4 has seemingly fixed the C-bomb issue for PS4. If you guys don't know what the C-bomb issue was, that was the internal clock battery in the system in which if that failed and the PlayStation could not interact with Sony servers, not only could you not play digital games, which I understand at that point with no internet access, but your physical games wouldn't work either. Well, with this update, your physical games should work now without the internet. Should the internal clock battery ever fail? Supposedly. Nord?
Yeah, it's really good that they fixed this finally, because we had pointed it out and said that it was kind of like a bricking process almost for your console, and that's never good.
But the only way that this will be confirmed if it works is if this situation winds up presenting itself. At this point, unless others on YouTube have actually gotten to test it or not. If so, then I encourage you to go searching for that.
Yeah.
But hopefully Microsoft will fix the internal clock thing, because all modern systems have the issue.
Yeah.
Hopefully you figure this out too, Microsoft. Because otherwise, as you guys see by my hat, shirt, the background behind me, I prefer Xbox, but if Nintendo's actually going to listen to fix hardware issues, maybe I should be just playing only multiplayer. Yeah. Maybe I am right, just playing all my multiplats. Most of my multiplats on Xbox, because it's cheaper to get a lot of them on Xbox and then just doing everything else on PlayStation. Who knows?
It's a nice move. There's still a lot to not like about Sony, obviously.
That's true. Like the having to pay extra through the nose for basically just an upgrade to the next gen version of a game that you already have from the previous gen system. Unlike on Xbox, you got smart delivery.
Yeah.
Which
and I'm still acting like the damn devil when it comes to content moderation.
Yeah. And Microsoft does, well, outside of third-party copyright holders of music in games, Microsoft doesn't give a fuck. I'm talking about Halo here, folks. In case you guys haven't seen on my Twitch channel, I've been trying to play through the Halo Master Chief Collection, and the music has been getting muted through third-party sources. So it is what it is. So there's nothing else to add to the C-bomb getting fixed and the most recent update to PS4?
No, just that it's a really nice, refreshing thing to see. But as far as Sony,
well, first of all, they had to do it. Otherwise, it was going to cost them millions in probably lawsuits for all I know.
Sure,
potentially,
definitely.
Yeah. But speaking of kind of okay things, Nintendo Direct from September 23rd. Yeah. So the first thing I have down here, now I didn't write down everything. I only wrote down things, as usual on this channel, that were meaningful. So first thing I got down is Kirby and the Forgotten Land coming in spring 2022. So a new Kirby game.
Yeah.
Nord?
Yeah, this is definitely another longtime favorite of the Nintendo crowd.
And us, because I remember us playing one of the Kirby games on the Super Nintendo that we actually liked back then.
Millions of fans of the Kirby series.
And it's
just waiting for a new game for years, and well, maybe here it is.
And from what they showed, it looks like this Kirby game is a pseudo open world Kirby game too.
Yeah, I know, really. If you can imagine Kirby getting even more popular than it already was.
Well, we'll see how that goes. After that, we got.
Yeah, it's definitely a good announcement on that one.
Yeah, and spring. So now around the time where I'm now planning to move to Arizona in the spring now. So.
Yeah.
So with that said, new free content coming to Animal Crossing. New Horizons. This November. So right around the time that well, we'll get into the other thing in November, which is the next thing I've written down here. But also around the same time frame as Skyrim. 10th Anniversary Edition is coming out for Series S and PS5.
Yep. And Animal Crossing has become a mainstay
for Nintendo,
for a lot of people. So
yeah, I still haven't started playing it yet. Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of November 11th, Knights of the Old Republic 1 is getting a Nintendo Switch port coming out the same day as Skyrim 10th Anniversary Edition.
Yep.
This November 11th, so. I will wait and see how this goes, because if it's still Asper Media, we know that they're doing the next, the PS5 port or remake or whatever the fuck it's called for this game.
Yeah,
but
if expectations for that are very low.
Yeah, especially given recent developments of who's working on it. But my expectation for a 1-to-1 port of KOTOR 1, which this seems to be to the Switch, is also kind of low, because if it functions as good as Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast port to the Switch, it's probably not going to function that well, because that aiming your gun in that was basically from side to side and not up and down. Up and down did not work on the Pro Controller or in any of the controls.
Yeah, it's like what Ryan from G&G says, dog shit.
No, well, first of all, that's degrading to dog shit.
Well, you know what I mean.
And dog shit deserves far better than that. But yeah,
I'm just saying that.
But what's that?
Games that are ported should be of better quality than they've been.
Yeah. They should function like the original version.
Yeah, to see Knights of the Old Republic be in danger of getting one of these dog shit ports.
Yeah, to the Switch,
is sad.
Now, on the one hand, it's wonderful to see it coming to the Switch, Don't get that wrong,
it's going
folks.
to be popular if it functions properly.
But if it functions like the foremost Genshin, port of a Star Wars game that I just mentioned, Jedi Outcast. Yeah, I bought that for $10 and played it for about all of 10 minutes and then immediately uninstalled it. As in, like, let's switch it to nothing at that point. Yeah. But with that being said, it comes out November 11th. So after that, we got N64 games coming to Nintendo Switch Online, along with Sega Genesis games by coming this October. So in as soon as a few days, and as most like a month.
Yeah.
At that point, because at the time of recording of this is the September 29th at the time of the recording of this, so we're a couple days away from October here. But
it should be a rush of nostalgia for people if you know they do that properly.
But on the downside, along with this announcement, they were announcing like an expansion thingamajig to Nintendo Switch Online, and nobody knows at this point what that even means.
Yeah.
Does that mean that the price of Nintendo Switch Online is going up? Does that mean that you're gonna have to pay extra on top of the $20 a month for like this extra service? Which would then mean that the question then is, if you pay the $20, do you just get everything else that you get now, and then you have to pay like an extra $20 for this stuff on top of that, or do you like just pay one price for what you've already baked in and this together? Those are the questions that have to be asked, because Nintendo is not giving any fucking answers. And for all we know, this is days from launch for all we know at this point, because there's no actual release date last I was aware. There might be. I'll go searching for that at the end of once we get through everything, to follow up on things when I go searching on my computer here for anything in a little while, but as of what we're saying now, we don't know. And finally, the last thing that we're talking about is Bayonetta 3 coming next year in 2022.
Yeah.
Which was initially announced in 2017, so take that for what it's worth, guys.
Kind of been dragging its ass to get released.
Yeah. So with that was the end of the show, but on a side note, also announced during it, Nintendo did announce at Nintendo Direct, or on it, a Super Mario Brothers movie. Mario to be played by Chris Pratt, and it's coming to theaters in the United States December 21st of next year.
Yep.
I'm going to let you take it from here, Nord, because I got no opinion, because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, the first part to address is the woke crowd on Twitter's reaction being horrendously negative about it being Chris Pratt, because they hate him.
My only thought with the casting of Mario because this is still supposed to be an animated movie, or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's the part that almost all of them completely missed.
Yeah, that it's animated, and Chris Pratt is only voicing him, but where the controversy comes in for me isn't about it being Chris Pratt. It's about that they have casted for the movie the actual voice of Mario doing cameos for other characters in it. Why can't you just have him voice Mario? He's the voice of fucking Mario.
Well, they always do this stuff, you know.
It's Nintendo. They always do things that confuse the fuck out of everybody.
Like with the Detective Pikachu film.
Yeah.
They did little things like that in that one too.
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, there's a long list. We'll just leave it at they like doing crap like that. Now, as far as what most people who read the headline about that film announcement missed was the blatant, obvious headline that it's animated.
Yeah.
And all of the list of actors who are hired to play in that film are doing is lending their voices.
Yeah.
And so
However,
when you say, "Oh my God, I can't believe Chris Pratt is being, cast as Mario, and Seth Rogen is going to be Bowser, and all this blah 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 blah," it's voices, people.
however, there is another crowd that is complaining about the casting, not because it's Chris Pratt or anything like that. It's because you have all these actual great voice actors out there in the industry, and yet you're using big name Hollywood types to voice these characters instead of just voice actors.
Yeah, it's as though accuracy or what would you call it, technique is out the window in favor of big names.
Yeah, so therefore, I guess you can consider me that. Obviously, I'm never gonna hate anything that Chris Pratt is in because I actually like the guy. But the casting, I don't agree with across the board because you can count me in the camp, I guess you could put it that way, of why cast all these Hollywood types when you got all these great voice actors that you should actually be using?
Yeah.
Group. That doesn't mean that I'm going to hate the movie. That doesn't mean that I'm even going to go watch it or not watch it. It's a wait-and-see approach for me. If it's good, then I'll give it a chance at that point.
Yeah, well, the first problem this whole thing faces is people have already been there and done that with Super Mario.
Yeah, with the live-action thing when we were kids.
I mean, again, this is going to be animated, so you're going to see real deal Mario and real deal all the characters, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, probably Wario, who knows. But, in animated
form,
and not some ridiculous live action like it was back then. But you see, even that, in hindsight, has its fans.
True.
So I don't expect this to be, complete dog shit, to reference a previous phrase. But I do expect it to be lukewarm, like people being like, okay.
Well, this is a thing type of situation.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be like throngs of fans finally waiting to see their favorite characters on screen or some shit. It's not gonna be like that.
Speaking of things that are a thing, I know a very weird and non-descriptive transition, but Marvel Avengers is coming to Xbox Game Pass tomorrow on September 30th. And like I said earlier, at the time recording, this is the 29th, so this is coming out on Game Pass tomorrow. But according to the information that I have gotten, this will include all expansions and whatnot in the download from Game Pass for the game. Not that anyone gives a fuck, because only Lethal Lightning is playing it. Or that likes it, I should say. Well, him and Landon, I guess, from Geeks and Gamers.
So I guess there's two guys.
Yeah, and they're both Australian, so what else are you going to do? What else are they going to do? They can't go outside.
Yeah.
So anything to add about Marvel Avengers and everything that comes with it going into Game Pass?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
They did so much failing with that game.
Yeah.
That
on another,
it can be hardly called popular.
Yeah.
It's actually quite unpopular.
Yeah. On a side note, though, with Crystal Dynamics, who made the game, they're also partnering with the initiative to bring, to actually do the heavy lifting, supposedly, for Perfect Dark Remake for Xbox.
Yeah. Well, the Perfect Dark Remake is a whole nother matter.
We'll see how it goes, because the head of the initiative was the former head of Crystal Dynamics, at least as far as I've been led to believe, when they rebooted Lara Croft for the Tomb Raider series back in 2013. So, and that actually went very well.
Yeah.
Even to this day, because all three of those games were very good.
Yeah, the Perfect Dark series has still got a lot of fans.
Yeah.
People still play it even now.
So
and it's not even close to new.
Yeah, so some people are concerned that Crystal Dynamics is doing the heavy lifting for this in light of what they did with Marvel. I'm looking more at it from... I'm expecting the Perfect Dark game to be akin to a revival of Tomb Raider. At least those are my expectations at this point. You?
Well, I would simply just expect that it follows very closely along the Perfect Dark series and is true to it. I would expect it to be a complete fan service game.
What I mean by my statement is, as in the graphics, how it plays, and basically the overall polish of the game in comparison is what I actually mean.
It would be the first really crystal clean, up-to-date Perfect Dark. Which and it should be a big leap forward for the series.
And if it winds up working, a big deal for Xbox. Because this is one of those things that should be coming out in the Game Pass as well on launch day. Speaking of Xbox Games with Gold for October 2021 have been announced. And for Xbox One, from October 1st to the 31st, we're getting Arrow. Bro?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Arrow?
Not entirely, but I have heard of it.
I haven't.
It's kind of obscure, actually.
To say the least.
It's got some fans, but I'm probably not going to touch that one.
Also for Xbox One, Hover, from October 16th to November 15th.
Yeah. That's another one.
Any comments on Hover?
Well, it's better than Arrow, I believe.
I'm not gonna cover either one, so.
Yeah.
For Xbox One, I may make an attempt for the next game, but we'll see.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch either one, but Hover's a little more popular than Arrow, so I would expect that one to be a little more popular in the download and play category.
And for the Xbox 360, Castlevania Harmony of Despair from October 1st to the 15th.
Yep.
So
Castlevania is a long-running favorite for a lot of people.
So I guess our first Halloween themed game for October.
Yeah, clearly, yeah.
And that's something I will be doing for October, because I'll be playing throughout October more Halloweenish games. So like Resident Evil, I'll be getting back into on Xbox One, because I have a physical copy of that. I'll be playing Castlevania now. And also this next game, Resident Evil Code Veronica X, from the 16th to the 31st.
Yeah.
From the 360.
Apparently this was a more popular one among the fans of the series.
Yeah, so I'll be dabbling in those two games and then some other creepier games that I have, like Resident Evil Village, trying to get back to at least. And then other various stuff that I have.
Game would still be, that game right there, Village, is still occupying most of the attention on the Resident Evil series right now.
Yeah, well, I still gotta get back to it. And October's the best time to play that on stream, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, any thoughts on Games with Gold before we get into the PlayStation Instant Game Collection?
Yeah, I would just say that it's a better offering than some of the previous offerings. But the whole thing's kind of lukewarm in general. Before we get into the game collection, let's compare it to September for Xbox. So, where did I have that? Here we go. September games. So we had Warhammer Chaos Bane, Maluka, Zone of the Enders, and Samurai Showdown. Yeah, this was definitely an improvement over September.
Agreed. Now, for the Instant Game Collection, for PS4, we got Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah.
First of all...
Which kind of...
What's that?
I was going to say, which kind of puts everything on the Xbox list to shame.
However, this is my thought. For Xbox One, which is behind me over there now, I already have a Mortal Kombat XL that's in this game with all of the DLC on Xbox, which coincidentally was on sale for $5 at the time. At the time, Microsoft sent me free $5 to use on their store, like around Christmas time, and I used that to get that. So basically, that was for free for me because Microsoft just randomly sent me a $5 gift card code online. So, with that said, this is the base game on PS4. Is it a great value in and of itself if you don't have the game in the first place? Kind of, yes. But where my rant comes in, if you're going to do Mortal Kombat in your Instant Game Collection, how about, I don't know, Mortal Kombat 11? Just saying.
Yeah. Wow.
Especially because of the next game behind it for PS4. PGA Tour 2K21. A game that came out, I guess, either early this year or last year. When did this game come out?
I'm not exactly sure when. I think it would have been last year.
Well, if that's the case, you have a game that came out potentially the same year as Mortal Kombat 11, yet you're giving us Mortal Kombat 10. Okay, fuck you too, Sony. And then for PS5, a game that is launching into Instant Game Collection, as far as I know, Hell Let Loose, which is a World War II shooter.
Yeah.
And
kind of a yawner.
Yeah. And when I saw the trailer for it, I'm like, this looks like Call of Duty 1 to me. Except for with modern graphics.
That would actually be, I don't know, pretty good, but only by comparison, though.
But the fact that you have to have a PS5 to play it. So, to recap, Mortal Kombat X, PGA Tour 2K21, and Hell Let Loose.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and everybody looking at it is going, oh, yay, another World War II shooter. Jeez, what to go along with my other 500 of them?
If I had a PS5, I'd be saying the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Now, in comparison to September for the Instant Game Collection, we had Hitman 2, Predator Hunting Grounds, which I forgot to play those on stream, and for PS5 was Overcooked. So in comparison, it's kind of on par with September for PlayStation. Would you disagree?
Yeah, better than Xbox, but only just.
Yeah, but like I said, I can nitpick about them, but overall, it's better than Xbox's offerings because, well, Actually, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm going to grade the two based on how many games are worth downloading and playing, for me personally, it's a draw. Because there's two games at that point, despite the fact that Microsoft is offering 4 a month, compared to, yes, I know there's 3, but I consider it to be 2 because I don't have a PS5. So, fuck you. My rules, I make them up, folks. My channel, my rules. Fuck off.
Yeah, well, again, the main problem that still remains with the PS5 is barely anybody can get one unless they feel like dropping $1,000 on Amazon or $1,000 on eBay or $1,000
unless you get as lucky as
by some guy handing them out.
Or unless you get as lucky as I did with getting the Series S that I got, which here's the controller right here for you folks. Like I did at Target. I was just randomly looking to see if there was any Series X's. I saw Series S, no X's, no PS5s of any kind. So I went and I started at, well, I was going to ask you, like I said previously, but you weren't available. So I asked one of my friends, and given where he and I are politics, usually when he says, yeah, I don't think you should do this, then I usually go, it's probably a good idea to do it then.
Well, here's the thing, though. Finding an S versus finding an X, especially if you're going to compare it to finding a PS5, the S is so much more unpopular
That's true.
The base console.
Yeah, but if you just want a next-gen console to play next-gen games, and you don't care,
it's something.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you're like me and you're glad that you can play next-gen systems, but you're still in the back of your mind going, I should have waited, but I am grateful for what I have. At the same time, does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was no reasonable expectation that you'd find literally anything.
Yeah, and then I found
how bad their distribution model is.
Yeah, and I found what I got, so I'm content with it.
Yeah.
As long as shit on it works, unlike last night.
Yeah.
And
what a disappointment, huh?
And that video is up on the channel for you guys to check out right now. That's about the party chat not working between the Series S and Xbox One. Well, not so much the party chat as in trying to stream playing a game on the next-gen system while having someone in your chat playing it on the last-gen system, but their audio not coming through on the stream on Twitch was the issue. And apparently that's a major issue right now on Xbox. But go check out the video, guys. It's the one right next to this one which you clicked on to watch.
Yeah, apparently that issue had been reported as soon as the newest gen was dropped. People immediately went online and were like, yeah, this doesn't work. So, it's an ongoing problem.
Just looking up N64 and Sega Genesis on the Switch. News here.
Yep.
So let's see what this says here. Yeah, so there are 2 classic controllers that they're releasing for it, for wireless use for the Switch, which is the N64 controller and the Sega Genesis controller, which are the same price as last-gen controllers. So at least they're cheaper than the Switch Pro controller.
They should be dirt cheap, but hey, I guess it's because they're,
they're
technically new manufacturer.
And they're wireless.
Yeah.
Let's see what comes up for pricing model. Let's see what Games Radar has to say. See if they know anything about pricing. Okay, so supposedly they'll function like digital game library services akin to the other ones, which is to be expected. The main difference is that these games will be behind an additional paywall. Okay, so that's what I was saying earlier. Meaning existing Nintendo Switch Online subscribers will have to upgrade their plan to access the retro games. Yeah, but how much more are we talking? $1? Another $20?
Yeah, you can bet it's going to be a classic access situation.
Because if it's like an extra $1, then I'm not going to... The business model of it is bullshit, but the price is completely reasonable at that point.
But you know it won't be.
Yeah, I know. So the games that are going to be
I
off...
would be surprised if we're like full game price. So
here are the games in the two editions to Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. For the N64, we're getting Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Yoshi's Story, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which I have the cartridge of that for my N64 in a rubber tub in storage in my apartment right now. Win Back, whatever that is, Mario Tennis, Dr. Mario 64, and Sin and Punishment. Those are the N64 games at launch of this.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that so far?
Well, they're all nostalgia games. Those are all some of the classics. I mean,
yeah.
There's certainly nothing wrong with the library that they're illustrating this game really is having.
Now, for the Sega Genesis games, we got Castlevania Bloodlines.
Yep.
Contra Hard Corpse.
Yeah.
Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Echo the Dolphin. Golden Axe. Gunstar Heroes. Musha. Phantasy Star 4. Rystar. Shining Force. Shinobi 3. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage 2, and Strider.
Yeah, that's a pretty good list of nostalgic Genesis games.
Yeah. The only
favorite of mine, which would be Mr. Bean, or the Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean game.
Yeah. The only thing I think I've played on there was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. From the Sega Genesis that I remember playing. Otherwise, from the N64, we played Mario Kart 64. I played a little Star Fox 64 at a friend's house. I have Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. We rented at one point Dr. Mario 64, and that was pretty much it. Because we never actually owned Super Mario 64.
Yeah, we had a bunch of other games that you're not going to see in this list. So
yeah. So this is interesting from the aspect that we haven't played a lot of these games.
But we do know them.
Yeah. If not only by name.
Yeah. But when Genesis came out, we were, rather young, and we weren't, filthy rich, so we couldn't just buy the whole catalog.
Yeah. That was back when we were kids, and our parents were just buying us the stuff. So we were completely bound to whatever they were going to do.
Yeah, we got some stuff, but a lot of this went past our heads, you know.
But towards the end of the N64's life, that was when I started working and I could start to buy my own games at that point.
Uh-huh.
And that was when I got, well, also around the time that I got the GameCube initially, and I started buying, well, that was the first console I ever bought, so.
Yep. And
Was
we
there anything
started
else
building what you would call a library at that point.
Yeah. Because on the GameCube, we wound up playing anything from wrestling, racing games, obviously Mario games, Mario Party, Mario Kart,
Mario Golf,
which I still have the Toadstool Tour to this day,
yep.
and a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I had all sorts of games for that. Oh my god, the Need for Speed series, the F-Zero GX series,
Yeah.
the Sonic game, the Soul Calibur series, the list is quite long.
Yeah.
Oh, and the NBA Street, which was always the best.
Which I still have that in my place, by the way. Actually, I think I got that right down here. Come on, get on the wheel. There we go.
Of all the games that have come out in the NBA realm, most people would agree that NBA Street V2 is one of the greatest NBA/basketball games ever made.
Yeah, I got NBA Street Volume 3 right here.
Yeah, V3 was good too, but V2 is the king. V2 is on top of the mountain.
And if you guys notice in the top corner up there, it says featuring the Nintendo All-Stars. So Mario, Peach, and Luigi you could play in this copy of the game with.
Yep. Yeah, platform exclusives was the first iteration of platform exclusive characters and content.
So with that being said, I think we'll end this with a particular thing that I kind of wanted to. I was thinking about talking about as I was starting to drift off to sleep last night. That kind of came across my mind. That someone brought up on YouTube, but they didn't actually directly bring it up, but they inspired the thought in my head. The debate between monopoly and exclusives. Because there's an obvious line between monopolizing like a genre of game or like a franchise and just having it exclusive to your console or platform or whatever. For example, exclusive Halo.
Yeah.
Kind of, because it's on platforms where Game Pass is. A monopoly, Madden.
Yeah.
So, therefore, what is the difference between a monopoly? For me, between a monopoly and an exclusive. Some fanboys will go, but Madden isn't an exclusive. It's an exclusive to EA. Yeah, except for, do you see Microsoft? This is a very slippery slope here.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on any of it?
Well, I remember when they first did, like I was just mentioning, when they first did a different game depending on which console you were on.
Yeah.
Like the game was literally different content-wise.
Yeah.
But they were all released for all the major consoles.
Yeah. For example, the Soul Calibur series is one of the best examples because on Xbox you had one character that you could play as. I don't remember who that was.
Oh, well, it depends. On Sony, it was Heihachi.
So on Tekken. I believe on Xbox it was Starkiller for one of them, right?
Well, that came later. That was I forget which game that was.
But it was for the Soul Calibur series, though.
Yeah, the Soul Calibur Nintendo exclusive
Was
Link.
Yeah. And then PlayStation, got like Tekken or something.
Yeah, it was Heihachi.
Yeah, so then Xbox was like a Star Wars character then. Of some kind.
Oh, so hold on.
No one's gonna look it up for you guys. But generally, while he's looking up, I'm gonna get to my point. My point that being, there is a difference between monopolizing something and exclusive. Monopolizing is suggesting that you're trying to keep something away from other developers so that you don't have competition. Having something exclusive is suggesting that it's on a particular platform only to sell that particular platform to you. I hope that makes sense for everybody, because that's the way I see it. Nord, did you find what you're looking for?
Yeah, it depends on which game you're talking about, but Soul Calibur 3, I believe, it was number 2 that was on the original
Xbox. Right?
Yeah.
And who was the exclusive character for the original Xbox port?
Yeah, Heihachi was PlayStation, and Link was Nintendo. Spawn was the
Xbox.
other one.
Okay, so
Spawn was the character for Xbox.
Because I do remember like Starkiller and Darth Vader being like exclusives to like a legend or like for a Soul Calibur game on a specific platform at one point.
Yeah, you're talking about number 4.
Okay, that makes sense. Then.
Yeah. Guest characters from the Star Wars franchise took over in number 4 with Yoda, Darth Vader, and what was the third one?
On the various platforms, because each platform got a different Star Wars character then, because Star Wars was coming back because Disney had just bought it or something like that.
Yeah, you had Yoda, Darth Vader, and Galen Merrick, which is Starkiller.
Yeah.
Now, if you played Soul Calibur Legends, the only guest character was Lloyd Irving from the Namco Tales of Symphonia.
Interesting.
If you got to play Broken Destiny, you got to play as Kratos, which is nice.
Yeah.
But then the 3 that came out with Soul Calibur 5 was Ezio Auditore, Devil Jin from Namco's fighting series Tekken, and Bayonetta. Needs no introduction there.
Yeah.
Then you had on Soul Calibur 6, you had Geralt of Riva from The Witcher.
That's Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and then 2B from Square Enix's game Nier Automata.
Yeah.
Additionally, Kane from the same series was also included.
Okay.
But Hayomaru from Samurai Showdown was also included with Kuroko. Flags were added as weapons for Cervantes and Taki styles in free update. Yeah, so they've always done that ever since Soul Calibur 2, I believe it was. But they didn't do it on the original game. They only did it on number 2, and that was where they introduced the concept of platform exclusive characters.
Yeah. So when it comes to exclusive content within the games that are multi-plat, I personally don't care for that.
Yeah.
When it comes to exclusive games that sell the console to you, that's one thing. And then there's the other concept of monopolizing a fucking game. And like I said earlier, for me, that's keeping a license away from other developers so that you don't have any competition. I'm looking at you, Electronic Arts and NFL. Any thoughts, Nord?
Yeah, I was just going to mention the various characters that NBA Street V3 had included. The inclusion of Mario, Luigi, and Peach, being the Nintendo exclusive, but you had quite a lot on that one.
No. If you're doing first-party characters in the game, that's probably, I guess, one thing. But if it's like third-party characters that are exclusive to one system, that's where I kind of have a problem. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But also, like I was saying, exclusive versus monopoly was the actual discussion, though.
Sure, and I don't believe that I don't believe any developer, unless they're good and have a proven track record and don't get greedy, for lack of a better word, and lazy at the same time, like with NFL.
Yeah.
And EA.
Yeah.
They got greedy and lazy at the same time.
And you could throw FIFA in there too with it.
Yeah. You know, just steamroll the fans with a new game every year that's exactly the same game as last year and just as broken, or worse, even more broken.
Yeah.
And pay no attention to the criticism.
And effectively do the same thing on next gen system as the last gen, and the game is just as broken on last gen as well as on current gen.
You know, watch as the entire gaming community has nothing else to play but your game because of your stupid licensing agreement.
Yeah, because now we're at a point where now people actually are going, you know what? I'm just not going to play the game ever. I'm just not going to play the sport ever again. Type of situation is where this is going right now. When it comes to Madden and, well, not so much FIFA because soccer players are just... You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to say it. I don't care if I get dislikes. Soccer fans are stupid. Because at least in football you can use you have to use your hands. Just saying.
Yeah, if we had two separate parties of Englishmen up in this camp, it'd turn into a yelling match of who's better, But
I could only imagine saying this to young Ripa's face.
Yeah.
At this point, considering how often he plays FIFA on stream on Twitch.
Yeah.
But here's your deck games. We still love you, Eric July. So.
Quite. What I was gonna say though is, as far as monopolies on titles.
Yeah.
It can be okay, but only when they care. If they stop caring, it becomes a shit show real quick.
Except for the history in gaming of getting a monopoly of an IP, usually that happens when nobody cares. I mean,
I know,
nobody.
The developer stops caring.
Well, that's generally what it feels like all the time too when a monopoly's involved.
I would say that, in my experience, I've seen monopolies with licensing develop when a game has or an IP has become so popular it's become a moneymaker.
Yeah.
That's when they go monopoly style, and then usually nothing happens after that.
Yeah. Look at the NFL at the time back in 2005. You had Madden actually competing with good games against 2K5.
Yeah.
And 2K5 was cheaper. And because Madness dropped off so hard, because of that alone, ESPN NFL 2K5 has taken on a legendary status, not because of that game, but because of what EA has done or not done with the NFL license since.
Yeah, it's the deprivation of the gaming community of a whole list of possible, and in fact probable, if it weren't for the ban, essentially if it weren't for the monopoly,
Yeah.
of good NFL games. It's just sad because most fans could tell you how to do it better than EA is doing it.
Yeah.
Like, how do they not hear any of this? How does it not get back to them? How do they not know there's a problem?
I don't know.
Why are they not interested in doing anything about this problem? Except laying back and throwing another title at us year after year after year.
Well, I think it's a symptom of the NFL itself because they don't care.
Well, yeah. But like I told you, that's mainly because the NFL's revenue is mostly not from the game.
Yeah.
It's from all the ticket sales and events and TV spots and games on TV and major network sponsorships and stuff like that.
But there's also a lot
sport.
of downturn from even that, with people not even watching the game anymore or games anymore.
Yeah, well, again, and that is also their fault,
but
that's a more broader issue.
And that's something that should stay on Breaking Rocks. So.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's partly because the NFL is like, you know what? We've got this major studio, EA. Let's just let them do it. Let them figure it out. Let them do what they do. And we're just going to let it go.
Yeah.
Kind of like pay very little attention to it. Leave it up to them. Let them decide what it should be and how it goes. And EA has just done what EA has become at this point, which is, lousy, lazy, and greedy.
Yeah. So with that being said, my official opinion is monopolies in the game industry, here's a bird for you. Exclusives, I don't mind, because they sell the console to people. Nord?
Yep. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't really mind anything necessarily. I won't say that, exclusive versus monopolies are bad. I think it can work all different ways. It's just that we have some examples that do not work.
Yeah,
specifically.
Well, lately we've had a lot more examples that don't work than do work. But it is what it is.
We have this major disconnect between the community of raters and critics and the actual gamers.
Yeah.
And a massive and saddening disconnect between the game journal people and the gamers.
Yeah.
Most of the game journal people not even being actual gamers is bad.
Yeah.
Because the gaming developers get bad feedback, dullest idiot feedback. The guys who played games all their life and will gladly sink 500 to 1,000 hours into a game to tell the truth about how it really is, don't get any traction with the developer. They'd much rather hear from some airhead that put it in for 5 minutes and then said, "Oh, I think it looks really beautiful," like some kind of gamer girl type, Twitch streamer.
So like,
and that's their feedback people.
So like CM Punk referred to Vince McMahon's executives in WWE when he did his pipe bomb promo, empty-headed yes men.
Yeah.
So with that being said, everyone, let's wrap this up. So after this, we're gonna make an attempt to try to play. It's called Limitsgate, right?
Yeah, Limitsgate. Yeah.
Over on the Twitch channel, right after. Well, actually, probably while this is still uploading, more than likely. We'll be trying to do that. But this time from Xbox One, so hopefully everything works. But with that being said, hopefully you guys will join us over there. If you're seeing this part of it, chances are we're probably wrapping up the stream by then.
Yep.
If not done by then. But with that being said, you will see that stream ported over here to this channel on YouTube tomorrow, though. So you'll see that tomorrow on here, but we'll be live on Twitch in just a little bit, doing some of that, or at least attempting to this time.
Yeah, if I can stay awake.
Well, if you can stay awake, then we'll just do it for like at most like 30 minutes, or just however long we're satisfied with doing it for. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah, because chances are I'm probably going to be watching like streams on Twitch anyway, if like mine already home playing Mario Kart or something like that. Assuming she does that anytime soon. But with that being said, I'll see you guys. Well, you'll see us tomorrow one way or the other on YouTube at that point. Then, with that being said, we'll see you guys later. Later.
Yep. Bye, guys.